That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh God, it's a toad, son. It's a toad, dude.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.
Well,
what's going on, folks?
Well. Holy crap, we're back with a Fishing Friday Live, man. We haven't done one of these in a while. We've been so busy throughout the fishing season and the business season and stuff like that. But
was the last one with Seth?
Yeah, I think did we do a live with Seth? I'm not
I thought that was a Fishing Friday Live, but maybe
I don't remember, honestly. Fishing Friday Live is our most inconsistent part of our show. Obviously, you guys, if you don't know, we have recorded episodes and they drop on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and all the other different mediums. And that usually happens every Thursday. So if you guys are podcast listeners and not just the live show listeners, make sure you head on over to those different platforms and check the show out. Pete's joining us too. Hopefully you guys got all that stuff squared away at your work. Oh,
we can't hear you, Pete.
We can't hear you, bro.
Yeah, I was muted. My bad.
We got you.
My bad. What's up?
Not much, man. Not much. Just talking about we haven't done this in a long time, so
I know.
Let's run through our sponsors first.
Let's do it, man. Hey guys, check out OneCast Fishing. Head on over there to onecastfishing.com and use the code the OneCast. I think Ben just held up a package of stingers, if I'm not mistaken.
Stingers, yeah.
Some stingers and a swim jig. Make sure you use the code the OneCast, all one word, at checkout. Get your hands on all the snagless jigs, weedless nets, soft plastics, long neck hooks, and everything else that veteran-owned company has to offer. Hey, while you're online, use that link we provide you guys. Pete usually drops it in the description every single time. It's on our link tree as well. It takes you right to Hobie Eyewear's website. You can get all the different lens and frame options they have to offer. They just launched their new series from upcycle kayak plastic, and different color variations are really stylish. I shared every single one of their photos on my story today on Instagram. Is really cool. You guys will save an additional 15% off your order on the approved lens, approved frames. Also, before your next fishing trip, make sure you download the Deep Dive app from your Play Store or App Store. Check out all the different features they have to offer. Helps you break down bodies of water. Learn about it a lot. It's going to give you a bait tool selection. It's going to give you tournament winning patterns and everything else that you need to know while you're out there fishing. You can pay for the annual subscription. It's like $80. It's totally worth it. It's like 8 packages of soft plastics, if you really want to put it that way. Also, moving to Central North Carolina, we got a great real estate agent, our friend Terry Carpenter, who's been a sponsor of the show for the last couple of years now. We love him. He's a bass fisherman. He's going to take care of you. So if you guys are in the market for a new home or a piece of property, hit up Terry. He's with Howard Perry Walson and Caldwell Banker. You can reach him at carpentert@hpw.com. Shoot him an email. Let him know that the OneCast sent you. Thank you, Uncle Terry. And then finally, Waymeyer Distribution has all of your trailer boat parts that you're going to need to keep you on the road. They're out of Indianapolis, Indiana. And they handle everything that you guys need, and they've taken care of several touring anglers that have been on the road fishing bass tournaments. They take care of people all over the continental United States and abroad. In certain locations, you can call them if you have any questions or need boat trailer parts. 1-800-434-4824. They got a bunch of customer service representatives standing by that are subject matter experts, and they'll handle every single question that you guys have about boat trailer parts. So, yeah.
Good job. Pete's gone. I don't know where Pete went, but
he gone. Hey, there's a lot going on in the fishing world right now.
Yeah,
At least tournament fishing wise, anyways.
I guess. Well, first let's put out, if you're in the local area, tomorrow morning at Jordan Lake is the lake cleanup. Clean up Jordan Lake with Hobie Eyewear, part of Carl Jacobson's. What is it? 100 lakes this year he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Clean up.
Yep.
So at 8:30, if people want to be down at the Seaforth recreational ramp or Seaforth boat ramp, that's where everyone's linking up. and we'll go out there for about 3 to 4 hours, pick up trash around the lake. And
I'm about to have to jump on a conference call, but gate will not open for volunteers until 9. That gate does not open until 9, so you won't be able to get in.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. And that
Dylan know
location.
that?
How Dylan knows that because that was what was in the communication from the state. So
Yeah, so that location that Pete's talking about, Seaforth Beach Road, Pittsboro, North Carolina, 27312. If you're going to try to drop it in the Google thing, it also pulls up as Seaforth Boat Access or Boat Ramp. It does not open till 0900, so 9 to noon. I know on the flyer, if you guys are reading that, it says please arrive at 8:30, but you won't be able to get in. Once you get in, you'll check in, sign some waivers. And then, yeah, just like Ben said, we'll go and clean up the shorelines in the area that Clean Jordan Lake is a 501c3. They're a great nonprofit organization, and they're going to really they're going to assign locations based on their assessment of where the shoreline and lake needs to be cleaned up the most. They're really good people. We worked with them last year. And Carl was on Mercer's podcast not too long ago. I want to say a week or so ago. And it, I get why they did it, man. They used some clickbait for this one. And I think the title of the episode was Carl's pissed, or I'm pissed. Right? And, I just want to echo what Carl kind of said in Mercer's podcast. And if you haven't listened to it, go check that out. But, we take so much from these lakes. And really at the end of the day, the whole initiative that Carl started back at the very beginning, which was at Gunnersville, and now he runs it out of Chickamauga, his home lake. The lake never really asks you anything in return, right? So like get a few hours here and there, or when you have an opportunity to clean up your lake, do it, because every single one of us wants these natural and man-made resources to last for generations beyond ours, and so for our kids and grandkids and stuff to enjoy. So I understand why you did that, man. And I just want to echo the same sentiment towards the situation. We bass anglers are not, we're not excused just because we like to bass fish from getting our hands dirty and helping the lake out. And that is one of the things, like, I hope more bass fishermen from our community show up this year. Not a whole lot did last year. I know that we had some kayak anglers show up, and we had a bunch of different volunteers and a good buddy of mine show up. So I think we have more people registered. As when I was talking to Pete about this, I think we have like over 80 something people registered for this, and really looking forward to seeing everybody come out and really get, sweaty for a few hours and take a bunch of trash away. So, keep your lakes clean, guys. And I think last year the worldwide cleanup hit 70 lakes out of 100, which was the goal. And that's really good. And hopefully, this year, we're able to hit more. So we're at least able to hit 100. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm gonna have my wife and daughter out there with me. We're gonna clean some trash, dude.
Pick it up. Garbage.
Make sure you bring, if you're gonna show up, make sure you bring the appropriate footwear. I highly recommend not wearing flip-flops.
Yeah. And
bringing some junk shoes or some muck boots or something like that. And if you have your own PFD, personal flotation device, probably wouldn't be a bad idea to bring that with you. Some Hobie sunglasses. If you don't have them, use that link we talked about. Go get yourself some Hobie sunglasses because they're fire. So what else is going on, Ben? Pete?
NPFL's going on right now.
Yeah, buddy.
Logan Martin. I haven't really caught any of it the last 2 days, but looks like a pretty standard event there.
Yeah.
29-8 is leading after 2 days. Corey Casey, 29-7. Greg Hackney right behind it. And then Bill Lowen, Wesley Gord, Daryl Davis, Cobb, Vincent, Butler, and Canada round out the top 10. So pretty good. Looks like it's shaping up to be a good event down there.
Yeah.
Gotta be hot.
It's definitely hot. I was able to catch some of the live. I watched. So what's up, David Fuchs from New Jersey? If you guys don't watch the NPFL and you want to watch it, usually days 2 and day 3, they they have live streaming on Facebook. I think they have like 4 or 6 cameras. And so today I was able to catch some of it. And man, it's a Coosa River system. Logan Martin is, and it's a no forward facing, as everybody knows in the MPFL. If you didn't know, it is no forward facing. They can use 360, but man, it's a good old school like flipping deal.
Most of them are just dock fishing.
Just dock fishing, skipping jigs under docks, skipping urchin style baits, swimming jigs through the grass. There are some people that located some fish. I think Derek Lettinen located some fish offshore. But really it was kind of cool. And man, I'll tell you what, I'm really happy to see a guy like Andy Morgan, who was one of my, favorites when he fished the FLW tour. It's really cool to see him fishing the MPFL, and he's so good in front of the camera, just kind of talking about like how he, like the first part of this morning, he obviously caught fish, but he caught a lot of his smaller fish this morning. And he told the audience, he was like, I'm just basically killing time right now until they turn the river on, because that's a current driven system. So if you're a North Carolina angler, I guess you could probably, the closest thing to compare it to maybe is like, if you're in the Yadkin chain, maybe a Lake Tillery. If you're over here in the, closer like Lake Gaston, so like Gaston or Tillery and stuff. It's a current driven system. It's got spotted bass and largemouth in it. And it was really cool watching Andy like break that down in the morning. And he made that run down the river because they were opening the gates down the river, but they weren't opening the gates up the river. So there was more current pulling down the river. And so he made that run, and he was fishing all by himself, man. And I think Logan Martin's only like 15,000 acres. And they got like
big.
Yeah, it's not very big. And then Bill Lowen, on the other hand, like he's doing well, but man, he was riding the struggle bus this morning. His stuff got fished really heavily. And so, he was doing, straight Bill Lowen style. I've never seen anybody take a jig hook to the hand, but he took one to the hand today. He boat flipped a fish and it popped off and it shot right into his hand. Usually I don't see that happening a lot with jigs, with weed guards and stuff, but nevertheless, he took one, but his stuff absolutely got pounded. So yeah, man, it's a cool event. Like, it's definitely a shallow water grinder, and it's cool to see, guys out there with like 3 rods on their front deck, basically a jig, and I don't know, an urchin style bait. So
yeah, I just brought it up on the map here. Yeah. Good old Coosa River bass.
It's definitely not good to everybody. There's a lot of guys. I mean, the weights are super tight. So even guys like, if you go down to like 100th place right now, like Luke Clausen, he's got 16.9. So he caught 8.12 the first day, 7.13 today. But if he was to back that up with like a 15-pound bag, which is not probable, but it's definitely possible. Or even if he gets like a 14-pound bag and some of those other guys catch, minimal, like you can move up substantially on the leaderboards.
I mean, Bill Long had 17 pounds day one. So
yeah.
Greg Vincent had 15.10 day 2. So it's possible. That's high 15s. I don't see another 16-pound bag. High 15s kind of seems to be the limit.
Yeah.
Minus that. I mean, it was almost an 18-pound bag from Bill, but 17, 14. But besides that outlier, it looks like 15-ish is about the max you're going to get.
Yeah. What do we got here in the comments? David Fuchs says Christine Fuchs and Ed are here with me at the MRI in New Jersey. I don't know what the MRI is. I hope it's not like the hospital MRI. If it is, we wish you the best. Mm-hmm. Starcook 1823 asked you, Ben, did you see that comment?
Yeah. So out at Harris, certainly catch them deep. I know you have used big spoons out there before. Would you say late July, August, a spoon? If you're referring to that video that I had on Harris, that was years ago, but that was June. I mean, that time actually probably already passed when it was filmed, or right about now. I haven't been out on Harris, or actually all year. I don't know. You don't go out there very much anymore, Trey, but like that spoon bite, like it was that day, it works the best when they're actually schooled up out there.
Mhm.
And as you get later in July and August, all those schools, because there's so much pressure on Harris, those schools get busted up a lot. And so they actually get a lot harder to find and catch out there.
Yeah. So, you know, the spoon bite is one of my favorite times to go to Harrison. You're right. I don't go there as much. My wife and I did go out there last week, and we did find a pretty big school of them. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of them. I didn't throw a flutter spoon at them. I was solely focusing on an urchin style bait to get familiar with how to set the hook on it and the fall rate and the proper line and the proper rod and stuff. So I really wasn't focusing on the spoon bite. I will tell you that June traditionally is my favorite time to use a spoon out there. And the reason that is because that's about, you know, that early to mid June can be really good because those fish are like out of that post spawn funk. They're relatively fresh. But I will, and so you can catch them better, like feeding heavily versus later on in like July and August where they've been pounded on all summer long. And so that's when like the dragon bites always can be good there in my opinion, but that's really when the dragon bite becomes good. So June is the time for like a deep crankbait in a big flutter spoon. The caveat to that is how are the fish set up, right? So I mean, if you're, and one of the things I've noticed is a lot of fish being suspended. Sometimes when they're suspended like that, it's really hard to get a spoon bite, but I guess it just depends on how they're eating. So if you're using forward facing sonar, if you're using your side scan imaging or your down scan, whatever, and you notice that those fish are all lined up on the bottom, that's probably going to be your best situation to get a good spoon bite there. The other thing I'll tell you about the water depth, 16, 18, 20 feet, is really pay attention to your thermocline, because I know there is a thermocline right now. Like I was out on another lake yesterday. That thermocline was at 25 feet, right? I couldn't, now doesn't mean that there's not fish below that thermocline, but the reality of getting them to eat below that thermocline is, to me, it's really hard. I couldn't get them to even follow a bait past 25 feet, but water flow has a lot to do with it too. Harris doesn't have a whole lot of it. So when I changed areas in the lake yesterday, the thermocline went from 25 feet in one area down to 40 feet in another area because there was water flow. And so there was different levels of oxygen, in my opinion, right? So pay attention to your thermocline. Pay attention to how the fish are set up. If they're on the bottom, you probably have a good opportunity to let that flutter spoon sink all the way down to the bottom and snap it up a couple times and lock up on some pretty good fish.
Agreed.
I can't get them to eat a flutter spoon for crap right now, by the way, dude. Like I've thrown it. There's, and I'll tell you,
Harris, though.
Yeah, I mean, like, but dude, we crushed them, right? Like we absolutely crushed them on a deep crankbait and an urchin style bait. Like absolutely crush them. Nothing big, nothing over 3 pounds. 3 pounds is still a good fish, by the way, for anybody wondering. It's a good fish.
It's a 15-pound bag if you get all threes.
Yeah.
That's a solid bag.
That's a solid bag. If you can get 15 pounds in every tournament you ever fish, you're going to probably win AOI, minus if you only fish places like Jordan Lake or Falls
Cast
Lake.
a lot of checks.
You're going to cash a lot of checks. Yeah,
and
for
if
sure.
You catch 20 in every tournament around here, you're probably winning AOI.
Yeah, for sure. What do you say? Christine said, Trey, I have so many questions. Obviously, you can ask your questions right here. Keep this engagement up. Starcook said, I haven't tried a big spoon yet this summer. Hey, you know, that's another thing too. Pay attention. It's really hard this time of year to, you know, sometimes they like a 5-inch spoon. Sometimes they like a 7, 8, 9-inch spoon. It really just depends. I usually Man, I'll start off with a big spoon and then I'll go down, right? Because throwing a spoon, if anybody's ever thrown a spoon for a long period of time, it is, besides probably punching, it's probably one of the most exhausting ways to catch fish. In fact, that little urchin style bait can be really exhausting too. If you're trying to scope every single fish with it, it can be really exhausting because you're trying to work it either like a jerk bait or kind of pull it away from the fish to have them track it. But yeah, I mean, just, try all different sizes of flutter spoons. I mean, there's big gizzard shad in that lake, Star Cook. There's also a gajillion threadfin shad in there that, this time of year you'll get. This time of year is funny too. Like you'll see a group of fish, they'll be feeding on 2 to 3 inch threadfin shad. And then you'll get a group of fish that are feeding on like a big thing of gizzard shad, and then you get a group of fish that are eating like babies,
The ones, yeah.
Yeah, it really just depends. But a bass is a bass, and so like yes, matching the hatch is important, but they're also dumb enough to not pass up a giant meal when it comes in front of their face. And if you can't get them to eat a flutter spoon and you can't get them to eat a deep plug, well then grab a 3/4 ounce or a 1/2 ounce one cast fishing snagless football jig and drag it in front of their face, and they'll end up locking it up. So Christine has some Army questions and some SOBA questions. You can ask them here, or you can hit us up offline for either of those topics. So yeah, Toyota series going on the Potomac River right now.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So couple things about that. One, glad nothing catastrophic happened. Pete sent me something on Instagram, and I talked to Seth Ellis, who's fishing it. We'll get to that in a minute. But Christian Greco hit something and ripped his entire engine off the back of his Phoenix. He posted a video about it, but he also posted just on Instagram that, he obviously had the leash on his engine, so it didn't go flying up in his lap or anything like that. But yeah, he totally tore his Merc 250 off the back of his boat. But Gary Klaus, one of the owners of Phoenix Boats, or the owner, I don't know if it's a joint venture or not, sent him his boat, or one of his boats, to use for the tournament. So
what's really bad up there with that, and I don't know exactly what he hit, or my guess is, because I just looked it up, the James River's like everything around here. It's critically low.
Yeah.
And Richmond is, I guess, going to have some water conservation measures going in effect on July 1st.
Oh, really?
So like his water, the river's critically low, plus you got the tide. And so who knows if it was low tide or what.
Yeah. I have no idea. I mean, that's a true tidal fishery. The elites, I've never fished it either. I think Seth has fished it in the past. I don't know the first thing about that fishery. I do know that if you have some of the newer graphs and stuff, they have tide charts on there. As long as you understand how to use them, it'll tell you when the incoming tide is and the outgoing tide is and stuff like that. But it's really dangerous, especially low tide situations, especially if it doesn't recede, like if it's receding, but you don't notice it, right? Like as fast as what the tide chart says, like you can absolutely. And dude, like even the Roanoke River and stuff like that, like even though it's a wind driven tide, like the one day we were there, the water was way back in the woods. And the next day we went and the water's completely at the edges of the cypress trees. And it's
sorry.
What's up?
It's at the Potomac, not the James.
Yeah, but the Potomac and the James are both true tidal fisheries. But yeah, I mean the Potomac's dangerous too. So yeah. Anyways,
or not.
Yeah, Greco ripped his engine off. Gary Klaus sent him a new boat. So that was cool. Our good buddy, who's been on the show multiple times, used to fish the MPFL for the last couple of years. He jumped in the Northern Division of the Toyota Series, which goes to Potomac, where they're at right now. Then it goes to Champlain. Then it goes to St. Lawrence River. He's sitting in 9th going into day 3. So Seth Ellis had 13-14 yesterday, and that had him in 18th place. And then he had 14-12 today, and that jumped him up into 8th place. Keith Poche who had 17-14 yesterday, is still leading. He had 14 even today.
Seth
So
is
there's
sitting one behind Iconelli.
huh?
Iconelli is one above Seth.
Oh, yeah, Iconelli's fishing it. Yep, Iconelli's in 8th. Hayden O'Barr in 7th. Nathan Reynolds, Harmon Marion, Brody Campbell, Eddie Levine in 3rd. Jonathan Kelly in 2nd, and Keith Poche in 1st. So, yeah, man, and so Seth is guaranteed a check because they have a cut, and I don't know what their cut is for going into day 3. I don't know if it's like the top 10, top 25. I'm not really sure, but Toyota Series, it's the first one that it's the first national tournament that Seth has fished since taking a break from the MPFL. So, man, good job to him. And I texted him today, and I was like, there's going to be a podcast with this full Potomac River tournament recap. He goes, I know.
Yep, he's going to be coming down.
But it fits his style, man. Like Potomac River, I've never been there, but I know enough about it. I've seen enough. It's got a lot of history, and it's a true tidal grass fishery. And if there's one thing that and it's a dirt game, right? Like trolling motor in the dirt type situation. Like, yeah, it suits Seth Ellis's style. The way that he's fishing, and I'm not going to spill the beans, but I know exactly what he's doing right now. So I don't want to tell anybody because we're live. So we can talk about it after the fact, but he's doing something a little bit different. And when he told me about it, I was like, yeah, sounds about right. Sounds exactly what you would do. So Ben, once we end the live show, I'll tell you offline.
I'll tell you what he's doing. He's scoping using urchin bait.
I know. You know what? I don't think these last 2 days, I don't even know if he's turned his live scope on the entire time.
Do they have like a 3-hour rule or something?
Yeah. So they got a 3-hour rule. They have the same exact rules across the Major League Fishing platform, except for they follow like the BFL rules, right? Like your co-angler is basically marshaling your time use on that deal.
I would imagine it makes sense. The shallow water, that's what the fishery is, but with even severe low water and stuff, yeah, I imagine there's not a lot of, it's even less scoping out there.
Yeah. Starcook said he thinks that Major League Fishing made a mistake pushing Keith Poche out. Man,
Keith has brought some of that upon himself.
Well, I don't know Keith personally. So I have I cast no judgment on any of these guys that I don't know. And frankly, I don't care, but Keith Poche is Keith Poche is a lot like, he
dances to the beat of his own drum.
He dances to the beat of his own drum. But he's got a good following, and that's one of the things, right? Like there's anglers across these different platforms that really have done a great job at promoting their own brand and building their own following. Milliken is probably the best. He doesn't fish the Elite Series anymore, but he's one of the best. Keith Poche built a really good following. Matt Robertson built a really good following. But the thing is like, just because you have been successful in that realm, it doesn't mean that and I'm not saying that he did this, but I would definitely say that, you still need to maintain a level of professionalism, like with the tournament directors and with the staff and with the other anglers and stuff. And social media, like I get it, but like when you get on social media and you go off on these tangents about how everything sucks and I'm a victim and stuff, and I'm not saying he did that, but I'm just saying in general, like you have to understand that those type of actions, regardless if it's you and Facebook or Instagram that have a private contract with each other, when you make it public, it's going to have consequences. Right. And in fact, I think that, and I don't know, but I do know like a lot of these tournament organizations have in their bylaws that you can't tarnish them on your social media pages. Like you can't talk like super negative about them. Right. So I agree with you. Huh?
If you talk bad about your employer and you're publicly and they find out about it, like they might fire you. And
right.
I know it's a little bit different because we're contractors, but like they are It's the organization he wants to be in. And look, Keith, he's polarizing for the reasons we're talking about. Some of the stuff I like what he does. Like I'm still mad Bassmaster disqualified him at Toledo Bend because he jumped
that thing.
Regulations, that water is considered the lake. It is part of the lake. And he didn't have to leave his boat. That's why they had the ramp and stuff there. So, I know there's some more nuanced stuff with that, but I didn't like that. Was he pushing the envelope? But I think it's one of the ones that I think it's an interesting topic because we've talked about this a lot. Like, you can't push the envelope where it's getting information and doing that type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think jumping the thing and actual state recognized boundary waters of the tournament. But I guess the boat left the water.
I'll tell you, I like and look, like Star Cook, like this. That's your opinion. We have ours. Like nobody's right or wrong. Like I like Poche's personality because I don't like seeing everyone be the same, right? Like I like the steward of the profession, like tucked into their slacks jersey guy. And I also like the drop trowel and got my, whitey tighties on type, Matt Robertson personality. And I like Keith Poche personality. I like them all because I think
like James Watson.
Yeah. Worldwide, man.
People love James Watson. I like James Watson, right?
Yep.
He is like a former drill sergeant.
Yeah, he is.
And look, I side with him.
What's up, Mario?
I side with him with what happened with BPT and MLF.
Yeah.
But totally understand why they basically banned them because when you start selling FBD hats, which I think is hilarious, but that is the CEO or chairman of the organization that you're officiant of. I mean, you kind of bring it on yourself.
But here's the thing. The one thing I'll say about like Watson, man, like he will own it though at the same time. Like he'll be like, dude, I put my foot in my mouth on purpose. Right. And that's the one thing is like, if you're going to do it, own it. Like, don't act like a victim of any of it. Right. And just be ready to, eat crow or bear the consequences of whatever you do. I mean, it is a weird sport because you pay to play it and you're a paying customer, but you have to follow their bylaw. It's just really, it's so muddy, dude. It's such a muddy thing. And like, the bylaws, while they are pretty crystal clear, like for Bassmaster, like there's also a lot of them. Like that is a huge rule book. You know what I mean? And so it is your responsibility to read everything that they publish as their rules. It's your responsibility to understand it. It's your responsibility to understand whatever state you're going to fish in, what their laws and regulate. It's just it's information saturation. And so sometimes those guys are caught off guard. That's why when Bass organized their ABP, their angler board, I thought that was a good idea. Like Lee Livesey is the president of one of the boards or one of the groups. They all kind of broke up into groups and they all have a leader of each group to communicate between them and Bass about rules changes and stuff like that. But I think it's a good thing because, stuff sometimes like you go out there and you do something, you had no idea you were breaking the rules because maybe it got buried in the rule book somewhere. But then there's other things that are like blatantly obvious, right? Like we can't be that ignorant to think like, oh, I didn't know that I couldn't, take fish from another lake and put them on my live well or something like that,
or unhook fish over the side of the boat.
Right. Something stupid like that. So, But yeah, man. I'm super pumped about this Potomac deal. I'm hoping that Seth can go out there and whack like 17 pounds tomorrow. He very well could, and he has an opportunity to really win this thing, depending on what the the guys 8 places or 7 places ahead of him does. But that'll be a cool recap. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. We'll do a recorded episode.
Series.
Huh?
What's the payouts for that?
I don't know. I think it's like 44,000 for first place, but again, it's all based on boat draw. And I think in this tournament they had like 150, if I'm not mistaken, right around that 140, 150 mark.
Okay. 3-day qualifying tournaments. So it's based on 160 boat field. $40,000 top pro award, 35,000+ Phoenix MLF bonus. 25% of the field earns a check of at least 2,000. So I don't have it by oh, here it is, payout scale. So first place would be 40,000.
Yep.
If you have a Phoenix, it'd be another 35,000.
Well, yeah, Michael Catt won the Toyota Series in 2024 at the Potomac River, and I think he made $80,000 because he ran a Phoenix. He got he won first place and whatever other contingency money. I think it was right around 80 grand is what he was able to cash. And look, man, like the Toyota Series and the Opens are probably the 2 best bang for your bucks if you're trying to like fish nationally. It's $1,800 for tournament entry into a Toyota Series event, and it's $2,000 for a Bassmaster Open. The only difference is obviously you're going to have co-anglers in the Toyota Series. You have to have a co in your boat. I haven't seen it where they let somebody fish solo. I'm sure it happens. Mark McGua's the tournament director for that side of the house, and but they do a really good job. And going back to Watson, man, like he was obviously ultra critical of MLF, but like he always talked about how good their tournaments were ran, and they run a really good tournament organization. So
they got the best coverage too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, PPT side, in my opinion, but
yep. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens on day 3. So make sure y'all check out those results.
I don't know what the cutoff is, but let's see.
I guess if you were to go back to like 2025 and go to a day 3, you'd see how many people actually fished and zeroed, right?
I'll do that in a second. But 10th place, so it goes from 40,000 from first. 10th place gets 4,000. 9th is 5. So then it
looks like the top 25 go, Ben, because 26th already has their winnings. So 26th place won $2,323.
You're talking about the Toyota?
Yeah.
Yeah, top 25 go on the last day.
Oh, you know what? Oh, and dude, Jamie Caldwell, our buddy Jamie Caldwell, who him and Seth travel together. Jamie bumped up to 25th, so he snuck in the cut.
Heck yeah.
For tomorrow,
good
dude.
Stuff, man.
And Jamie met some adversity yesterday. So day 1, his jack plate was stuck the entire day. So he was plowing water after having a conversation with Seth. Like he just couldn't maneuver. He couldn't move around the Potomac because his jack plate was stuck. So they got it fixed.
Down or up? I hope it was stuck up.
It was stuck in the up position. Yeah. I think it was stuck up.
Which is why he was plowing water.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he snuck into the top 25. So that's pretty cool, man. So yeah, Buck Mallory, good buddy of ours. He finished 35th. He cut the last check for that event. So basically he made his tournament entry fee back if he didn't have a sponsor paying for him. So
hey, that Dylan guy at the Open that won, he won, right? Falardeau.
Oh yeah. He won at
he's sitting in 11th right now at the Potomac.
Oh, yep, he sure is. Yeah, he won the Open up in Mississippi. He beat Tom Mansour by like a pound or something. And nothing against Dylan. I was pulling for Tom Mansour because he's an old soul. He's been around the game for a long time. Big jig maker. If you guys go to YouTube, you can check out. I think MLF did an episode on Tom Mansour's Bass Cave.
Yeah,
so that was pretty cool. And he's got so much like ancient lures in his house and stuff that I think it's just him and his cats that live together, dude. And he's a good old fisherman up there and on the Mississippi River, man. So, but yeah, that you're right, Ben. That dude did bring home that open victory. So punched his ticket to the Bassmaster Classic if he's fishing a division, I guess. So yeah, what else is going on?
What'd I miss? Best be throwing that spoon now. Whoever asked that question.
Yeah.
I think made a mistake. MLF didn't push Keith Boucher out. Keith Boucher didn't fish good enough to stay in the MLF.
Did he not requalify?
He didn't requalify. Yeah. He was below that 51 cut line. Hey, I want to talk about one thing. I know I before I jumped off, we were talking about the lake cleanup and how mad it makes us to see how filthy people leave lake shores and always seeing stuff float in the water when we're out there and try to grab it when we can. Here's another thing. We've got some folks on. We got a lot of local people that watch these and listen afterwards. We got to stop these hot summer bass tournaments, man. Like, it's got to stop. There was a video from one of our local well-respected crappie guys today at Sharon Harris, and there's multiple 6 and 7 pounders floating at the ramp today from your night tournament. They're gonna die. Like, we got, if we're actually worried about the fishery and saving fish, and these pictures at the ramp after we weigh them in aren't the way to go. So buy Bubba scale, do catch, weigh, release, go by inches. But once this water gets above 80, we're just killing these fish. We saw it at our tournament last weekend. Like, there was a lot of dead fish floating at the ramp. We had a kid on a jet ski. We gave him a net, and he went and scooped a bunch up that people would release that were dead, that were floating belly up. So, I think locally as anglers, we've got to make a push for these tournament organizations to change the way they're doing things. I don't want tournaments to stop, but we got to stop the whole weigh-in thing, because it doesn't matter. You're killing fish for no reason. And I know some of you are cool with throwing them back knowing that they're going to float away and feeding the turtles, but that's not super cool to throw 6 pounders back to feed the turtles. Like, take it and give it to your neighbor or something if you know it's going to die. So somebody that'll eat it, even if you don't want to. But it's a terrible look for all of us. And it's the first time I've seen, another angler that targets another species call it out. And he basically was like, you all give me shit when I show pictures of my cooler with bass in it, but here I am at the ramp, and here's all these fish floating from one of your tournaments, but that's okay. At least mine are getting 8. And I was like, word, dude. So think about it, man. I know we got some friends that run a couple of the night tournaments or are close with them. Think about trying to catch, weigh, release, man. There's lots of ways to do it. There's paper tournaments all over the place. I know people cheat, but we gotta, if we really want to protect our fisheries, like, we talk about conservation and blah blah blah, then we got to show it, especially when this water gets hot.
Let me echo that too, Pete. Our good buddy Mike Johns, he fishes a Christian club down in Florida, and as soon as I don't know if it's 100% of the year, but I know that they have transitioned to paper tournaments like you talked about, and they do it for those reasons. And look, if there's ever a place where you probably don't need to do it, it's in Florida fisheries, right? We all know that those Florida bass, they're pretty hardy and everything like that, but they're trying to do their best to conserve their fisheries. And it's interesting to me that we wouldn't go to something like that. Like, I know the guys that run some of the tournaments, it's a 3 fish limit on like the Tuesday nighters, but even then you got to remember, we are targeting the absolute biggest bass in the lake. Like, anglers have gotten so good at targeting the biggest bass. And when you're killing off those gene pools, like, there could be a detriment, right, to whatever. That being said, a place like Sharon Harris, and there's Wednesday nighters on Sharon Harris, which Pete's talking about. Sharon Harris, for the first time in 5-6 years, is actually seeing really, really good weights for 5 fish limit formats. Like 29 pounds was weighed in there. Multiple 23, 24, 25 pound bags are being weighed in there. I just think about that for a minute. All of those years that Sharon Harris sucked, and now we're going out there and there's dead bass floating at Cross Point Boat Ramp, right? Like, think about that. Like, Sharon Harris is 4,800 acres and not all of it's fishable. So if you're targeting the biggest fish, 8, 9, 6 to 9 pounders and you're every single Wednesday and you're killing off all those fish, like it's probably going to have an impact over a certain period of time. And again, like Pete said, like the image itself just doesn't look good. And that's the reason I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Seth Ellis is calling me right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's the reason why Pose at Jordan Lake decided to shut tournaments down, wasn't it? Or one of the reasons?
No, the biggest reason they shut tournaments down was because they wanted all the pleasure boaters to be able to go into the ramp. So it's such a small ramp that, you know, a lot of boats,
and
a lot of boats there for a tournament. Yep.
Yeah, and the whole permit issue. That started a couple of years ago. The state, I don't know. It was also I don't remember all the details behind that. That might have been when Mike was still running it too, but the Tuesday Niners are Jordan, but some permit thing got in the way too.
Well, yeah. So they stopped issuing permits at Pose. The Army Corps did after Memorial Day, between Memorial Day and Labor Day, and it was because of pleasure boaters. They were complaining there were bass tournaments there and taking up all the parking spots, and they couldn't get in there to launch their wake boats. So the Corps just stopped tournaments, which is fine. I mean,
I completely understand it on the weekend, but like we've all fished those Tuesday nights.
Oh, I know.
There's like
I know.
2 pleasure boaters there.
I'd probably still fish them from time to time if it was out of there because it's way closer for me to get to. I can't make it home, grab the boat, and make it all the way to dang Barrington, but I can make it to, you know, I could have made it to Pose. But, you know, the Corps made a call. That was on them. I guess for them it was easier just to not give permits at all than to give them during the week. So that, you know, that's their decision. It's their lake. At the end of the day, we're using it. And people got to remember, you make the Corps mad enough, they don't have to let NCWRC or anybody have a ramp on that lake. Like they can shut that lake completely down to people accessing it.
Yep.
So, you know, respect the resource. And like I said, we got to do something about these summer tournaments here because we're killing way too many big fish. And like, I saw something today.
What up, Seth Ellis?
When's Falls do theirs? Thursday nights, right?
Yeah, those are Thursday nighters.
So a kid put his bag on there yesterday, 21 pounds for 3 fish and finished third.
Yeah.
So like I'd have to go back and listen to the episode with Seth Miko, who will be on the show here in next week or the week after that he's coming in. It was something like 85% of fish that ride around in a tank above 80 degrees end up with delayed mortality and dying at some point in time. So we're killing giant fish. Like they're more than likely going to die unless you have recovery tanks and do all that stuff like these big tournament organizations do. Which I know the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nighters don't have that. So just be smart, man. I think we have an opportunity to set the kind of set the example for a lot of places here in the Piedmont. We've got a lot of tournament organizations. Everybody's pretty plugged in. So let's work together and try to come up with something to keep our fish.
I mean, dude, can't you use Bubba scales to like run a tournament right off the? Bubba
You can
scale?
literally force. Yeah. You can't the app is free. You can create a tournament and log in, and when you weigh a fish, it'll automatically register it in the tournament, and it tracks it sort of like Score Tracker does. Now, typically organizations in addition to that ask you to take like a photo or a video of the release, whatever, just to show that the fish was released alive and you're not, weighing the same fish 3 times or whatever. There's money involved, so you always have to, in the back of your mind, think that somebody may try to take advantage of it. But at the end of the day, your $20 entry fee, if somebody wants to cheat to take it, like I'd rather have all those 9-pounders swim in the lake so we can go out and catch them the next day than kill half of them or more at the ramp just to weigh them in.
The one thing to think about for Central North Carolina and probably a lot of the states are facing this too, but if I'm not mistaken, Falls Lake is shut down right now, or at
not
least
completely. They've got Ledge Rock is still open,
but only one of the ramps or 2 of the ramps.
Well, they're all open, but you can only use one of the ramps. They didn't actually, I don't think, close the ramps. Barton's is still open, but they're only a couple feet from shutting down all the ramps on Falls. And unless we get like 17 inches of rain this weekend, by next weekend, Falls Lake is going to be completely shut down.
Yeah. A lot of these lakes are, they're super low. Falls is super low. Some of the city lakes are closed down. Heck, even Mayo Lake is low. And I was there yesterday. And Sharon Harris is low. So not only are we still like having the same amount of fishing pressure on those lakes, but like the wake or the pleasure boat traffic is still there too. And talking about how much we believe that they've done damage or can do damage to the bottom of or to the lakes. Like the lakes are even lower now, so they're probably having even more of an impact on our lakes and stuff like that. So just things to consider, man. But like, yeah, I'm all for it. I don't fish those Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nighters, not because I can't, but just because I choose not to. And it is impressive. Like, the anglers around here, they're so good. It is impressive when you guys are dropping these mega bags, but there's definitely a lot of fish that are floating at the ramps, and we need to be cognizant of that.
Yep. Let's see.
What was the other thing you wanted to talk about? Harris is bad, he said. Star Cook said Harris is bad.
Well, I just pulled up the drought monitor. Durham County is in the highest level of exceptional drought. D4.
Is it really? So, yeah. Seth, you heard that. You can't water your grass. No. Hey, Seth Ellis is on here, everyone, or at least he popped in and said, yo, wish him good luck tomorrow. And Jamie Caldwell, like we said, he snuck into that cut. So top 25 going into it. So hopefully you guys drop some mega bags tomorrow. And what you talking about, grass?
It's all been burnt away. There ain't no been water.
Oh, he said ain't got no grass. I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no water in it.
Got a desert up there.
Hey, according to Duke Energy, Mayo's at full pool.
Is it?
That's what they're claiming, but you were there.
So sure didn't look like it.
Sure, there's
a big O sign on the dock now that says "End of ramp." Like it's definitely a little bit lower.
I'm sure it is.
Seth,
I was just trying to see if they had Harris updated on there. I'm curious how low it is. I know it's down, but they don't
Seth,
have it.
we talked about it. We're gonna get you on the show. Maybe you and Jamie, if both of y'all have the time or the same time, and get you guys on to do a recap of the Toyota Series up at the Potomac. Already told everybody exactly where you're fishing and how you're fishing. So no, I'm just kidding. We're not going to spill the beans on that stuff till a little bit later. You can talk about that to the audience, but
I told him exactly what he was doing.
Yeah. Seth is out there dragging a Carolina rig.
He's punching a jitter rug, dude.
No, he's scoping with an urchin.
Yeah.
So Harris is 15 foot low, according to
Harris.
According to Duke, it's down 15 feet.
Down 15 feet.
I've heard it's bad. I haven't been by there, but I've heard it's bad.
Harris.
I mean, we went out there.
I drove by on the way to the airport this morning.
There's no way.
I'm just telling you what Duke Energy's reporting it to be. Don't yell at me. They're saying normal pull is 220, and currently at the station where they monitor is 205.2. So that's 15 feet low. If my math's correct.
Yeah.
Well, actually 19.6. Well, 19.8.
They've never been right.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I haven't been out there. So.
None of their stuff is ever right.
I've heard it's bad, but I haven't been out there. Star says it is bad. I don't know.
It says minimum's 215.
I don't know. Well, regardless, we in a drought and we need some rain. We did get some rain today, but I don't think it was enough to do anything. I mean, it definitely downpoured for about a good 30 minutes. Like it came good, but we need about 3-4 days of that same amount of rain, if not more.
I just saw our drought thing. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It was pretty interesting.
For all you anglers out there, what does the drought do? Well, depending on the lake you're in or at, it really congregates the fish. Falls Lake is a perfect example. I can't speak for how it is now, but I can only imagine it's kind of crazy. There's only so many places for these fish to go. Now, that being said, those fish, you might find a lot of those fish suspending out in open water more than you traditionally would too. That's one of the things I'll say about Sharon Harris. Like seeing the bags that are coming out of there is it's very impressive. But B, what I think is happening is because the ecosystem has changed, those bass are starting to really now adapt to those changes, the cover and stuff. There's no vegetation or very little, if any, some pads and stuff there. But those fish are definitely making a change to where they're living at and stuff. And maybe they're relating a lot differently than what they have been in the past 5-6 years. So Fishing Faith NC said, I'm with you guys on trying to figure out different ways to report tournament catches, but to defend the night tourneys, that the 3 fish in only 3 hours, the bigger tourneys will run 5 fish limit for 8 or 9 hours. Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, those are some of the only tournaments that guys get to fish, right? So like, I'm all for them. Like, I'm all for those Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because some guys fish on the weekends. Some guys just don't have the time. They got other things to do. So that's the only time they get to go out there and actually compete. So I'm with keeping them. It's like, hey, if you are the guy or gal that's running those tournaments, like maybe there's a way you could figure out to do it a different. It'd probably be easier on you anyways, not having to bring scales and stuff. If you figured out a way to do like a paper tournament situation or like a fishing chaos type deal or a tourney X type deal where you take pictures and maybe you do it off inches rather than pounds. So there's all different ways that you can kind of skin the cat on that one. You just got to figure out if it's worth it for you. And
1 year our club, but it was so hot, we never did July tournaments, but like June and August, like we actually cut down to, we came in instead of 3 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
Yep.
Said, hey, you just got 6 hours now, and before it gets way, way too hot,
Yeah.
So or go down to 3 fish limits, or
and Pete brought up the point of Seth Michael talking about like increased mortality rate or increased whatever. It's not catching the fish a lot of times is that kills it. It's riding around in the live well or being in the live well for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, man.
Yeah, I would go back and check that one out too. That episode.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Because he does talk about like there is a percentage. I mean, a percentage of every fish you catch dies from delayed mortality, and when it gets above 80, water temps above 80 degrees, that number goes up. But if you immediately release it, it's like something like 5% versus something like 80 when you ride them around in the live well. So I didn't mean to cut you off, Trey.
No, that's what I want to let everyone know. Like, and just because you put ice in your live well and fin clips on your fish to keep them upright, it doesn't mean anything after the fact. Like, sure, you're probably helping some fish out. We do it too when we have a fish that's stressed out and it starts to go belly up, but it doesn't really need to be fizzed, or we already did fizz it, but it wasn't working well, and we put some fin clips on it to kind of settle it back down. Also, call tags. I don't know if anyone's experienced this before, but call tags actually do stress fish out. We've seen it before where you got the ones that the vice grip type ones that go on their mouth, or even some of the TH Marine ones that I use. I don't even know if I use the Bubba ones, and they're not even the crimp ones. They just kind of clamp on their lip. We've seen it before where a fish will be stressed out and you take that call tag off and it goes right back to chilling out in your live well, right?
Yeah.
So think about those types of things if you're trying to do live well management, fish management, and stuff like that. Like, call tags can be something. You're seeing a lot of guys switch to the dorsal fin or the whatever that other fin is called, or on their caudal, right above their caudal peduncle, as the biologist would say. They'll use those fin clips for their call tag systems, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, it sucks trying to figure out, get your fish out of the live well, but I think there's a reason that guys are using those call tags too.
There it is. So we need 14 inches of rain in a 48-hour period. We need 24 inches of rain in a 2-month period, or we need 36 inches of rain in 3 months to get out of the drought that we're currently in.
Sounds like we need a couple tropical storms.
We need one tropical storm to just, and I hate to say it because a lot of people's lives get affected, but it's the only way. I mean,
a couple little weak tropical storms.
No, I want a great big one. Just sit in, dump about 27 inches of rain on us in 48 hours.
Now that would be. We've
Fill
had
the
that
lakes back up. It'll get into the bushes on Jordan, and I'll go out there and
The
flip 'em and
bushes.
catch them off the dang picnic tables. Like I
Yeah,
want.
you'll start having bass on I-90 again.
That's fine. We need to kill some fish in eastern North Carolina so then big ones can come back. We need a fish kill bad.
Yeah. Certain
Well,
systems
you should
definitely
be
need
happy
it.
about those summer tournaments then.
They just over there, those fish are a little bit tougher. Those are
They
mostly
are.
Florida.
Them Florida strain bass are hardy.
They are definitely better in this warmer weather.
What do the kids say? They built different.
They built different.
Well, guys, we're
Right.
coming up on an hour here. Ben, Pete, you got anything else for the audience?
No,
No?
sorry.
Hopefully see
I
some of
was.
you guys tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we'll be at the Seaforth boat ramp
9
on
o'clock.
Jordan Lake at 0900, ready to go pick up some trash. That's 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. for you civilian type.
Might get
Um,
a bunch off one of the bridges in the
yeah.
morning before I haven't decided yet.
But we appreciate everyone joining us. Hey, if you weren't here catching the live show today, make sure you check out. It'll be posted on Facebook and everywhere else. And then also, like I said, make sure you go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts and stuff. Check out our recorded episodes. We got a good one that just dropped with Dustin Smith, who fishes the Bass Pro Tour. And he does a is that next week?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be next week. Make sure you check that one out. We just dropped a couple episodes this week. So we appreciate everyone hanging out with us and helping us continue growing the culture of anglers, helping anglers one cast at a time.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh God, it's a toad, son. It's a toad, dude.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.